Today is the day we put down our phones. So if you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Caitlin Moose. Man, it's been a minute since I've done a video. How exciting. YouTube is something that I want to get back into with 2025. So welcome to my channel. If you're new here, today we're talking all about social media and screen time and how to have less of that. Nailing it. You may be feeling very similarly to me, and so many people I know are addicted to their phones. Sometimes I think, oh, I'll just be on social media for a second. I'm resting. I've had a long day. This is my time to unwind. And then when you really look at the numbers, you realize you're scrolling your life away. And I'm sick of it. I don't know about you, but I'm sick of it. I want better for us. So in today's video, I want to talk all about how we can finally put the phone down. Look right here, you and me. We're putting the phone down and we're living our lives. So if the problem is spending hours on social media or scrolling on your phone or whatever is distracting you, and you just feel like you're living life pretty mindlessly, the goal then is to have something productive to do with your time, to be more mindful and intentional with your time. Maybe that's a hobby or just something fun or a passion of yours. So for me, I'm going to give this personal example throughout this video is I've recently gotten really into paleontology. And as you can see, it cracks me up. I'm living in Los Angeles, and when I decided I was going to be really into fossils, I went to the La Brea tar pits. I went to the Natural History Museum. I've now been on a couple of fossil digs, and wait, I have now found, whale vertebra. Come on, check that out. That is, it's like dusty everywhere. I still got to clean these. Got rib bones. Look at all these shark teeth I've found. Look at that. That's pretty cool. I found this. It's dusty everywhere. Okay, hold please. So my very first fossil dig that I went on, we were finding 50 million year old Teratella. There are so many I still have to sort through and clean and everything. Maybe I'll make a video of that. I even started volunteering at the La Brea tar pit, so now I can just be surrounded by the fossils, and it gives me a chance to keep learning about them as well. Why do I bring this up? Because you don't know how you're going to want to fill that time once you finally put your phone down. I do want to talk about why you want to, because it's easy to say like, oh, of course you want to for health benefits, but I really do think it helps you rewire your mind and discover your own identity and your interests. I think you'll learn something new about yourself, but most importantly, it breaks up the monotony of your days. I think, especially as an adult, you get up, you go to work, you come home, you go to sleep, repeat. And your days can become so homogenized that you need to break it up with some novelty. And that's where I think having a hobby or a passion or something you're really interested in learning, having that novelty is going to help slow time down. And what I mean by that is when you were a kid, everything was new, everything was exciting, you were exploring for the first time. And so childhood seems a lot longer because one, it was more of your life when you were 8. You've only been living 8 years, so 8 years was each a long time. And then as you get older, it's less, a year is less of a percentage of your life. That's true. But also things aren't new. Things are routine. Days can blend into weeks, can blend into months, can blend into years if you're not careful. And that's where I really think making sure that you have some novel experiences in your life or something that you're excited about. Again, getting back to being mindful about how you spend your time. Otherwise, the years fly by and you wake up and say, wait, what have I been doing with my life? Sitting in my bed rotting. Ew. No judgment from me. I'm just trying to fix it for both of us. But when you have those novel experiences, when you have something new and noteworthy, that creates a different memory that you can then pull back from and say, oh yeah, this year I was working on this thing, or I went on this really exciting adventure, or what have you. But when you can get away from distraction, especially with your phone and scrolling, you can focus less on consumption and more on creation, whether that's actually creating content like this or just creating the life that you want, actually having time to read all the books on your bookshelf that have been sitting there waiting to be read, or trying that new recipe you want to try, or spending time with a loved one. All of that to say, live a life of intention rather than one of passivity. So how do you go about doing this? Well, I think it's easiest to subtract before you add. If you're familiar with The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo, I went through and KonMari'd my whole place when I first read that. If you're not familiar, you're picking up each individual item she'll go through by category, but you're holding each item and asking yourself, does this spark joy? And if it doesn't, you get rid of it. And we all have different thresholds of how much things we need to fulfill that joy. For example, she's not telling you to get rid of your 100 sneaker collection if your 100 sneaker collection really brings you joy, each pair of those. But a lot of people may find they don't need a million different kitchen utensils when just a knife does the trick. So it's not that you're trying to hit a specific number when you're doing this and subtracting things. It's just to recognize what you actually like and how many things you need. So when it comes to the digital space and you're looking for things to subtract, your answer might be different than mine, and that's okay. It's whatever works for you. So for me, when I looked at my phone scrolling habit, I really hated it. I was like, well, this does not spark joy. How can I fix this? There are many different things you might do. You can set timers for different apps on your phone. You could even delete the app from your phone and then reinstall it if you're trying to like post something, or just set a timer in general. I have tried all of those different things. What I ended up doing finally is deactivating my account. I don't know for how long that will be. I didn't put any kind of time limit pressure on myself that you must do this for a month or 6 months, and I'm just going to see how it goes. But I needed to deactivate it so that I couldn't even log in on my desktop, because that's kind of what I do when I delete it off my phone. Yes, I'll spend less time on it, but I'll still access it on my desktop. I'll still be thinking about, what can I post? What could I be doing? Blah, blah, blah. How do I want to be perceived? I'm scrolling on everybody else's things and comparing myself to them and all the negative things that come with that. And I don't know why I'm speaking this way. And you already know that's a huge thing, is you get so sucked into social media. So whatever the distraction is for you, for me, I'm specifically talking about social media. Figure out how you're going to subtract. How will you minimize that screen time or minimize whatever it is that's distracting you right now? Is there any kind of timer that you could put in place? Any boundaries, any restrictions that can help you make it automatic? Because you can't willpower yourself out of something like an app that's been designed to be so addictive. But social media is taking away our ability to focus. If you're looking for a book to read, I highly recommend Cal Newport's Deep Work. He talks about kind of this lost art of focused deep work for 2 hours or more that will really help you get into your creative production mode, as opposed to when we get so distracted. Our attention is sidetracked constantly by all these different little things, especially social media is pinging your attention in a million different directions. Whereas when you eliminate those distractions, you've gone through your subtraction, you can focus on then what to add. But actually before that, you might find that some things start coming up for you. You get really uncomfortable. You're so used to checking your phone and swiping that you feel a little anxious and like don't really know exactly what to do with your time, and this is uncomfortable now. I think that's great. Listen to what's coming up for you. It's going to be different for all of us. Sometimes you've been using the distractions of social media to distract you from something else you really need to be working on. So you might already know what it is that you want to spend your time doing, that you need to take action on, something that you need to confront that you've been avoiding. But if you don't know exactly what you want to do, you just know you don't want to spend hours every day on your phone, I've got some prompts for you. So you can ask yourself a couple of questions like, what did I like to do as a child? This is something that I'm borrowing from Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way, which is a phenomenal book. If you haven't read it already, it's actually life-changing. So I recommend you pick it up. But that's, for example, how I came up with paleontology, because I was thinking, what did I like to do as a kid? And I had this trilobite that you could probably purchase for $5 or $10. I don't even remember where we got it, but my parents got me this trilobite and I was like, oh my gosh, look at those little bones. Just like that. I also really liked when I was in elementary school, our teacher had us dissect owl pellets. That's where you can see the bones of what they've eaten. Think of it as like a fur ball, but for owls. They come out in pellet form. And I remember everybody kind of thinking it was gross. And I was like, this is so cool. Look at the little bones. In fact, I just found out that you can buy owl pellets yourself. I recently dissected some owl pellets again because I was like, why not? We're into bones now. Yeah, I might talk about that one more later as well. I was hoping my nephews were going to be into it, and they were not. I think that's another thing to watch out for, is something that maybe you liked as a kid or even that you like now that other people don't really like. That's a great clue. If I'm really into dissecting things and you find that gross, that's probably a clue that I can follow that. That's something that not everybody likes. Also, if you pick up something really easily and other people kind of struggle with it, I think these are all really nice threads to follow when you're trying to figure out, okay, what is it that I want to pursue? What am I wanting to do with my time? Some other prompts: if you could have any other career than the one you have now, what would it be? Or is there something recently that you've seen a friend do or something you saw online that you'd really like to try? Like running a marathon or crocheting those cute little stuffed animals. Another question: what was your favorite subject in school? And what's something silly that you've always wanted to try? Those are just a couple of prompts to get you brainstorming, thinking about what else you might do with your time. And that way you can find something that someone else isn't going to be able to recommend to you. It's going to be completely unique to you based on your interests and your experiences. Now that you've kind of picked something that you might want to explore, how do you go about pursuing this new interest? I really like immersing myself in that new world. Like, I will just jump in and be like, okay, what can I learn about this? What can I research? So whether that's books on the topic, documentaries, exploring a museum. Museums are so slept on, you guys. Like, why don't people go to museums anymore? They're so nicely curated educational content with all kinds of different topics. You can find small museums for just about anything. I do live in LA, so maybe that's a privileged thing to say, but check it out. A lot of online resources as well. But if you can find a museum in any kind of niche topic, I think that's a really fun way to explore something. Also, find a community. This is a huge one because you want to be able to talk with like-minded individuals who are interested in the same topic. It'll also help for accountability if you're joining like a run club or something like that. For me, I joined the Southern California Paleontological Society. I found that just by Googling like I think it was like finding fossils in Los Angeles, and that came up. But you can look on Facebook groups, Reddit, Discord, anywhere where you can possibly find people that are interested in specific topics. It's really nice to have a community where you can learn from them and you can share your excitement for your new thing. So after you've gone kind of through a research phase and what is this new world exploration, the next thing I would recommend is taking one small action. What is something that you can do today to get started or just to test it out, dip your toe in the water? That could be, if you're really wanting to paint, could you go to Walmart and buy like the cheapest paintbrushes and the paint for like the kids, just the 3 primary colors, and mix them together and paint on computer paper? Where can you start before and saying, well, I need to have an easel and the finest paintbrushes of horsehair? I don't know what paintbrushes are made of. Before you go investing a lot of money, is there a way that you can start now? That might be following a YouTube tutorial. That might be calling up a friend and seeing if they want to join you. For me, remember, I went to La Brea Tar Pits. I went to the Natural History Museum, and I just kept immersing myself in that world until I found SoCal Paleo and went on their next scheduled fossil excursion. And lastly, I would just say progress over perfection. This is the first time that I've had a hobby where I didn't feel like, oh, I have to monetize it or I have to be the best at it. My perfectionism kicks in. I'm just enjoying it. Like, This feels so silly to me. As you could tell earlier, I'm just constantly giggling about it, that it's even an interest of mine. It just seems so kind of maybe out of character for me, or, it doesn't align with the identity story that I had playing for myself. So I do get a kick out of it. And that's kind of the fun of it. Like, let yourself explore. You never know what's going to come up for you. Look at this thing. I have a rock hammer and I just go out and smash rocks and don't know what I'm doing at all. But I've been able to find the coolest things, mainly because SoCal Paleo told me exactly where to dig and where to look. I think it's fun to watch people pursue their passions, pursue their interests. So I can tell that I've inspired other people just by doing this thing that's interesting to me. And so that's another reason why I want to share it with you, is you can tell that it lights me up. Like, it puts a smile on my face. It's just this new fun thing that makes me uniquely me. I think the main value that I want to get across with this video, the main message, is that of intentional living. Because in such a time of passive consumption where that is the norm, it does take a lot to say, no, I'm going to take my time back. I'm going to be mindful about what I'm doing with my time, what I'm going to create, how I'm creating my life, instead of all of these mindless distractions, being more mindful with your time. I myself am at the beginning of this journey, so we shall see how it goes together. If you found this helpful at all or you're wanting to see more, I'd love for you to subscribe and come along for the journey. Also love to hear in the comments section, what do you think might be piquing your interest? What are you getting ready to explore? So let me know, and I will see you in the next one. Like, there are so many cool museums out there related to all kinds of different topics. So see if there's one maybe um, related to your topic. And then I ended up joining the Southern California Paleontological Society. And I don't know why it tickles me so much. You see that you're scrolling, hours maybe have passed by, and it's like you can't seem to stop it. I do believe it is an addiction. And it's something that I myself had to end up taking a break from so that I could focus on things that I really wanted to. But it's just been so much fun, and I don't even have to be good at it. I just get to look at this. the idea of progress over perfection and getting to enjoy something without it having to be part of your career, or that you're monetizing it, or that you have to be the best at something. Like with paleontology, I just get to have fun with it. I have no idea what I'm doing, and it's still something that people really like hearing about. They think it's fun. I think it's fun and weird, and it's just really nice to be able to have something to share. And that's one of the reasons that I wanted to share it here, because people have been finding it inspirational and, kind of want to find their own thing too. So, wow, it's been a minute since I've done this. Hi, if you don't know me, my name is Caitlin Moose, and I'm addicted to Instagram. Hi, Caitlin. Yeah, I deactivated Instagram finally, which is a temporary deleting measure, meaning I can reinstall my account. And one, I don't miss it, which is very exciting. I think I'll make a whole separate video on that after it's been a while. But today I want to talk about how we can spend less time on our phones and what you can replace that scrolling time with. Ah! 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 I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm having a blast. And kind of a really fun side effect that I didn't set out to do, obviously, is my friends are also really loving. They're like, I love that for you. Like, not in like a mean way. I think a lot of people have been enjoying it. They think it's really cool to see. Now that you've found something you're interested in pursuing, how do you go about doing that? First, I would recommend that you just completely immerse yourself in that world. By that, I mean, what kind of research could you do to tell you about that world? How can you learn about it? How can you become a part of that thing? So, for example, I really recommend finding a community of like minded individuals who might be interested in that same topic. Who might be interested in that same topic. You can go to Eventbrite or Meetup, Facebook events. So, one of the first things I would do is just really try to immerse yourself in that world. And a great way to do that is by finding a community of like minded individuals who are interested in the same thing as you. One of the first things I would do is just immerse yourself in the world, in that possibility of this new thing. For example, you can find a community to join, especially finding those like-minded individuals that are interested in the same topic as you is really fun and helpful to keep you on this journey of whatever this new interest of yours is. You may also explore books on the topic or find documentaries. Why don't you visit a museum? Museums are so slept on. Come on. I think it's so fun to go to museums, and it's a great way to learn in very nicely presentational format. Everybody go to the museum. You may even be able to find events related to it if you want to check out like Eventbrite, meetup.com, even Facebook events. That's another place where you can find that community of like-minded individuals. So